Hey gang, this is Ryan Cozy with the Chapel at Crosspoint. Just wanted to give a brief update in regard to Prayer Initiative 2013. Hey, last night we had an evening of worship as expressed in prayer, in silence, and in song here at the chapel. And just wanted to give a brief highlight of that and just celebrate some of the neat things that God was doing in and through just one of the expressions of Prayer Initiative for 2013. Last night here on our campus we were fortunate. I think we had maybe in the ballpark of about 500 people show up. So we were incredibly excited about that, just thinking about the idea that God has brought a number of folks together to be in a focused time of prayer, a focused time of reflection, and a focused time of worship toward our region, our geography of Western New York. And so kind of the rhythm for our evening was that we wanted to first speak at the level of asking God to help break our hearts for the lost here in Western New York. You know, this idea that, you know, at the chapel and some of our partner churches here in Western New York, we talk about giving every man, woman, and child a repeated opportunity to hear, to see, and to respond to the gospel message of Jesus Christ. And so as we unpack that, that was the desire for us as an expression of the church in Western New York. We talked about just how God could break our heart for the lost. And in addition to that, in praying for that and using a time of reflection on that, we then transitioned into just the relationships that God may have already given us in our geography, maybe our neighborhood or our subdivision or wherever it is that God has placed you. You know, that He's given us relationships in our geography, but He's also given us relationships in our sphere of influence. You know, so we might have family members that don't yet know Jesus here in Western New York, or co-workers, or places where we go to shop, and there are a number of different places where we have spheres of influence. And so we transition from not just breaking our hearts for the lost, but then also understanding that God has placed people in our path all around us here in Western New York, and that God may be wanting to use us in prayer, to move in our hearts and in their heart, to be able to have an opportunity to share the truth of the gospel. Not just for the eternal, which is really important to us, but also for the here and now, that the gospel can transform us right now and can change our geography. And then from there we focused on just praying for our people here in Western New York, the believers, that God would cultivate these outcomes in our life, and if you're at the chapel or you're partnered with us, you know about these outcomes of intimacy with God and Christ-like relationships, knowing our gifts, and then knowing our grace story and being able to utilize those in the context of Western New York here in this region. And as we kind of came out of that time of reflection and worship through song, through prayer, and through silence, we took some initiative with a couple of different things. Number one, we talked about having communion with one another, celebrating communion, which was definitely something that a number of our people took part in. In addition to that, we celebrated an opportunity to go before the Lord and perhaps write down some things that perhaps are restricting us from being intimate with God. If it's a sin, if it's a struggle, whatever it is, that those things that would bind us, we forfeited them over to the Lord, and we asked God to reinitiate that communion with us relationally with Him. And so a number of people participated in that, and that was a real beautiful thing to see in the lives of our people. And finally, we also had this missional component of the fact that, you know, as God has broken our heart for this region, if we burrow down a little bit further, He's broken perhaps our hearts for particular individuals. And so we had these keychains made up, like key tags, where we could, just with a magic marker, write the names of people that maybe God had put on our heart, that for the next 40 days we would be praying for them specifically here in Western New York, that they might come to know Jesus Christ personally. And hopefully that would be an artifact that would remind us repeatedly that we're praying for these people to come to know Jesus in a very personal way, not just for eternity, which is incredibly important, but also for the here and now. And so we just wanted to celebrate some of those neat things that happen here at our campus, but we also just want to invite you and just ask you, hey, if God has been doing something fun or really cool in the expression of an evening of worship that you participated in Western New York last night, hey, share with us about it. Let us know. Feel free to send me a video update. We'll post it. But we would love to hear about some of the other things that God may have been doing last night as we lead up to the start of Prayer Initiative 2013, as we start up on Ash Wednesday this week. God bless you, gang. I hope and pray that you're doing well, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.